morning and welcome to Ask Mason, the show I do every couple weeks that I try to explain things that are going on around our community or issues that we've had or even questions if you send those in. I love answering your questions. If you do have a question, you can send that to askmason@enid.org and I will do my best to answer that question. Always know that I'll never put your name, I'll never mention your name or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about being embarrassed. Before I get started, though, today I want to mention our State of the City this past week. What's my part in our story? What's my part in our story? I started looking at the numbers. We had a great turnout for that event. At that event, according to our charter, the mayor has to give an update on what all's going on in the city and kind of what we're going to do for the next year. And I did that. The year before last, we had 148 people attend that. This year, we had 349 people. So that's exciting because I think that we've got more people now that are interested in what we're doing in our community. So with that being said, start thinking about it for next year. It's a great time. Our theme this year was What's My Part in Our Story? And if you want to see that video, where I go through all that information, you can either go on Facebook, you can go on our website, the city website, City of Enid, or you can go to Spotify and look that up. Just State of the City, Enid, Oklahoma, and I think you'll be able to find it. But we had these buttons printed up this year, and I'm starting to see those things show up on Facebook now, and that's always very interesting. So I encourage you, post your button if you got one, and let's see where all it shows up. So with that being said, let's get started today. My topic that I wanted to talk just briefly about this morning was something that we did at the commission meeting 2 weeks ago, or almost 2 weeks ago. That was when we did some rezoning for Southern Heights. We rezoned that whole area up there from a R2 to an R4. Now, I know that doesn't mean much to most people, and it didn't me either until I got in city government, but I kind of wanted to back up and explain why we did that. There were a lot of rumors floating around, and I want to clear all that up so that there's never a misnomer about what we're doing. So I want to back up and talk just a little bit about why we did what we did. You know, about a year and a half ago, our Enid Regional Development Alliance, ERDA, they funded a housing study for our area to see if we're going to grow over the next 5 years, what is our need on housing? And not just housing, but in all the categories. That's rental properties, that's what we used to call them starter homes. They call them workforce homes now. For those couples that are just starting out in a job and they've got to be something a little more affordable, how do we do that? And in their study that they come up with, they found out that Enid needs about 1,200 new units. Now, that's not all houses. There's some apartments, some duplexes, a lot of things like that. But we need 1,200 units over the next 5 years to make that happen. Well, the problem that we get into is the cost of construction has gone up so much now that for a developer to go out there and put one unit up and rent that unit, he has to get so much rent that then it prices it out of the market for that workforce, the starter homes or units that people need whenever they're just starting out in their careers. So what a lot of communities have been doing is changing some of their zoning so that they can put duplexes up. Because on the same amount of land, you can get 2 units instead of just 1, and that helps the developers. And we've been talking to developers from all around the state, and they all seem to want to do that. So with that being said, we decided that was probably the thing to do in Southern Heights, that it would help develop that area. And anytime you have a lot of growth in an area, other things will come. We need a grocery store over in that area, or at least a small, something that people can just run down to and get a loaf of bread and some things like that. So we hope that if the housing starts building up, starts growing in that area, that we will have some other retail that follows that. Now, I want to stop for just a second and explain the difference between R2 and R4, because this is where people got a little confused. R2 is just simply single family dwellings. That's just your normal 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1 or 2 bath homes with one family living in it. But R4 allows the same thing as in R2, but it allows you to have a duplex. Nothing larger than that, not an apartment complex, because that was one of the rumors that come around, that we were doing that so that they could start building big low-income apartments, and that is not true. R4 does not allow for that. It's only duplexes. Also want you to know that if you already have a home in the Southern Heights area and it's a single family dwelling, this does not change one thing for you, not one thing. You just continue on just like you are. It's for those lots or those houses that are kind of run down. If a developer wants to take that house down, he can then go back with a duplex, not apartments. Not apartments. I want to point out just 2 more things. One of the rumors that I found that we were asked about was that this program was to help the city take people's property. Now, where they got that, I'm not sure how they worked that out. I assure you, the city of Enid does not want more property. We work real hard not to have property, other than if we have to do some kind of an incentive for a business to come in. But as far as residential lots, I think we only own 9 of them. And we wish we didn't have those 9, because we have to keep them mowed, we have to keep them cleaned up, and it's an expense to us. So whatever you heard on that the city of Enid wants to try to take people's property has nothing to do with rezoning. Nothing to do with rezoning, and we do not want to do that. I do want you to think about this, though. You may go, well, I'm perfectly content the way it is. We have aggressively been going after businesses to come into Enid. Over the last 12 to 16 months, we've had Tachyon Industries come in, which employs about 80 people. We've had Bry Steel that has come in that will eventually be up to, I think they're about 40 people right now, will eventually get to 80 people. And then Airco Industries just came in, and they will get up to around 80 to 100 people. So that being said, that's 300 locations that we need for people to live. So you can see, if we are going to continue this growth, bringing in businesses so that our young people will have jobs that they can do right here local, we've got to have housing. Housing is the key that can either help us propel our economic growth, or it can deter it. And we certainly do not want to not be able to bring in a business because we don't have enough housing. So that's why we're doing that. You always hear me say, we are not living in the moment right now. We are trying to think about a year from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now, what our city needs to accommodate the amount of people that are coming in. So with that being said, if you have any additional questions on zoning, please call us. I mean, it's an easy conversation. It's not complicated. But just know that we did that for economic growth. And I think people's property now is probably more valuable now than it was before, because now then they can put up a duplex. It gives them more options. And just remember, if you're in a single family dwelling and you were R2 and it went to R4, nothing changed for you. Nothing changed for you. So with that being said, I hope that that helps so that everybody understands a little better. And send your questions to me. I'll see you in a couple weeks, and I'm sure we'll have another topic and go over some more things that are going on in our city. A lot of great stuff happening right now in Enid, Oklahoma. So with that said, goodbye, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.